What you're about to see is a Channel 4 News exclusive.
So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!
You sit on a throne of lies.
We have to get on, we have so much time and so little to do. Strike that. Reverse it.
Welcome back, everybody, to another year of the 12 Days Before Christmas. I'm Independent Joe. Welcome, family and friends, to another episode. Tonight, we are doing something different for the 12 Days of Christmas, and it's for me, it's kind of special. I was able to get a bunch of different new bottles that I haven't tasted some before ever, and then some are just kind of newer versions of what happened last year, but I still didn't do any videos, and I thought what better way to do it than to do it with friends. And tonight, that's what we're going to do. We're going to be able to do these videos with friends and just hang out, talk about the whiskey that we're drinking. Unfortunately for them, they don't know what it is. I know what it is. And then at the end, do not really a big reveal, but some type of reveal. Just show the bottle. How about that? We just show the bottle. But really appreciate everybody out there tuning in. Thank you, all Patreons around the squared circle. Welcome, Big Vic, to the Patreon square here. And I thank you all for your support. Thank you all subscribers. And every guest that I have on, please go subscribe. If you're not subscribed, which I'm pretty sure you are, because we're one big community here and we support each other. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and kick this off with this is the first video right here. This is the first video, and who better to do it with than Bourbon Bites. Clifton, let's go.
Joe, thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited to be the first one.
Yeah. I even got my no cash value with me.
Oh my gosh.
Covering my blend, so that's pretty cool.
Love it. And I had to put on my Santa Claus sweater just for you, just to get in the spirit.
Nice. Well, for me, I think Sugar Kitty would probably love that one right there.
Oh, definitely will.
But as you heard, Clifton, this is something new. And again, what better way to start off the 12 days before Christmas than with a good friend like you?
I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, I appreciate you, brother. So what it is this is a pour that I haven't had throughout the year. There it is right there. You can pour it at any time. If you're ready for it, that's great.
Didn't know if this was like a challenge. I was like, I'll keep it sealed, not opening it.
Oh, no. Sorry, but I probably should have told you that a little earlier. You could have poured it so that you let it breathe a little bit, but
it's all good. It's all good.
I think this one, from what I could tell, because when I poured it, I was like, oh, okay, I can't wait to taste this one.
Oh, it's so dark.
Again, this is
like color-wise. That's a dark one. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it's like 2 years old or something like that. That's why it's so dark. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. I'm like, okay, small barrels, maybe. You know what? We'll see. I know nothing about this whiskey.
Barrels are like this size. But yeah. So before we get into it, we'll let it breathe for a couple minutes, and then we'll go into it. We'll talk about it and stuff like that. Just a couple of quick questions for you for this season, real quick. So up to this point throughout the Christmas year, what is like one of your favorite things to do at this time of the year with family, friends, like the Christmas season? Is there anything special you do? Or
I think I love, so I when I lived back in South Carolina, there was always this big Christmas light show that took over the local like county park, and we'd always go, and there was always be like hot cocoa, and like there was art exhibits from all the different schools in the area. Yeah. Haven't quite found anything like that here in California. I'm sure there is. But that's always my favorite thing, to just go see the community arts, to see local light exhibits. I just love like the community aspect of things, and just finding your local, whether it's an art show or light show. That's like my favorite thing to do. It gets me in the spirit for sure, as long as there's hot cocoa or some mulled wine, maybe a little whiskey as well. But
yeah. My wife's been asking me. We went to a comedy show a couple of nights ago, and we drove to San Diego, and she was talking about there's this big old light exhibit, and there's I think also one in LA. So she looks all that stuff up. So I'll have to send you the link at some point.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out for sure.
Since you brought up whiskey, since we're drinking whiskey, Most surprising of the year? Anything like not really your favorite, because I know you gotta do your list coming up pretty soon, but like as far as most surprising, like you were like you weren't expecting too much, and you're just like, oh wow, this is really good.
Oh man, you gotta put me on the spot. Now I'm literally pulling up my YouTube channel to see what I've uploaded this year. Oh, that's so tough because like surprising in a good way, I imagine, right? Like we're talking like a good.
I mean, I'll take either way. I'll take either way because I mean,
on the first day.
but this is a positive time, so let's keep it. We'll keep
Okay,
it
it'll be
positive.
positive. I will say, let me just. I'm doing a little, like I said, little side research here. I honestly just was impressed with pretty much all of the I don't know gosh, sorry, I'm put on the spot, so I'm like freaking out for a moment. Okay. I guess the biggest surprise was the release of the Claremont Steep
Okay.
American single malt from Jim Beam. And I know it's kind of gotten some like shade, like some people didn't like
Yeah.
it, but I really did appreciate it. I picked up some of those notes that I love from that distillery, but as an American single malt. So
Now is
that
it
was, I guess,
over?
the biggest surprise
Is
coming
it
out of that distillery.
is it over malty or is it? You think it's fine? You know, like you think it's getting blown out of proportion as far as the shade that it gets.
I think it's young, and
Okay.
I get that, and I did hear someone say that like it kind of feels like they are trying to take the attention away from smaller craft distilleries that are doing American single malts, which I
Yeah.
totally understand that perspective. But
Yeah.
with Jim Beam being one of my favorite distilleries, I do like that they're branching out from the norm, and I like seeing new releases just in general. I mean, we see other distilleries come out with wild mash bills, so it's kind of cool to see Jim Beam kind of experimenting a bit there too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, did you get to do all three of their experimental 17 years?
I didn't. I tried the one that you brought to Vegas in September of last year, and that was like that's the only one I tried.
Oh yeah, that's the Jacob's Well.
Oh, that's different, right?
Yeah, that's different. The Hardens
Okay.
Creek 17 year. You have the Claremont, the Frankfurt, and the
Yeah.
Boston.
Never made it to California. I never saw them in California. I'm sure there were ways to get it, but I never made it here.
Oh, I got mine all here in Cali.
Oh well, I just must not have been hunting hard enough.
Well, I'll have to get you the whole flight so that you can try it out on your channel.
No, I would love to. Would
Um,
love to have you on to do it.
as far as Christmas, the season of gift giving, if you were gonna give a bottle away, if you were gonna go out and actually give somebody where it ain't we'll say under $100, so it ain't too
Mhm.
crazy. If you're gonna give a bottle away because of packaging, look, maybe even taste, um, what would you recommend somebody going out and grabbing?
One that really, I mean, this kind of relates to the last question too. One that I wasn't expecting too much from, but like really kind of surprised me was the Ryder Cup release of Elijah Craig. Not sure if
Okay.
you saw that one. So it comes in a really cool box. It has like a
Yeah.
really interesting cork, but it's actually they use different oak to finish it in, and I wasn't expecting much. So I'm like, it was $100. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
it's Elijah Craig, $100. It's the same lower proof as like small batch, but it actually it held up, and I think it was well worth the price point. It's a cool gift. It's very topical, for a 2023 release.
Yeah.
That would be the bottle I would give someone.
Oh, nice. Nice. I'm gonna go ahead and cut off the questions so we can get into the whiskey.
Okay, my
Um,
heart rate can calm down a bit. I'm like, oh man, on this, I don't like getting put on the
Yeah,
spot.
because I know some of these, because off the cuff, it's kind of hard to like try to figure out like questions again. Appreciate
Great
the
questions though.
time.
I just yeah, it did. The first one caught me off. I'm like, oh, all year. Like I've even started thinking about my top 10 because, like you said, I do my top
Man,
10 of
one
the
on
year
my
at the end of the
left
year.
window.
So
Okay, so we'll go into the nose, and you could go ahead and like let me know what you think of what are you getting on the nose.
all right, okay. It's not too unfamiliar to me.
Okay,
Not to say it smells like something I've drank recently. I don't think it is.
it might be. I mean, it's out there. It's common.
And you say you haven't reviewed this one yet.
I have not reviewed this one now. I've been wanting to. I've had it for a couple of months now.
Yeah, it's really like dark, and like I said, the color wise as well, but also on the nose, like I can tell it's probably got some proof on it. I think it's got some It's got an interesting, like sweet, a bit of like a honey, like floral honey kind of note on the nose, which
Yeah,
I love. I
definitely.
love. We did a honey whiskey stream together, so
Yeah. I do get that a floral, honey, maybe a little bit of dark fruit in there mixed in.
yeah, man, that's like almost so intense of a nose. Like I feel like if I were not trying to like try this neat, I would definitely maybe need to calm this down with some water. But I'm gonna try it neat, just at least for the first one.
I think the proof is kind of low on this one.
Oh,
Oh wait,
really?
no, It- maybe not too low. We'll figure it out right now.
Okay,
So
the nose. I mean, the alcohol like vapors are definitely apparent on the nose, so that's
they're
interesting
kicking
to
in
hear.
right now. Well, to be fair, and I always talk about neck pores and stuff like that.
Mhm.
The only thing that doesn't make that a neck pour is that I switched it around a little bit
Sure.
and then poured it. So, but to be fair, it kind of is the neck pour.
Yeah. Now
We're having the first pour of this bottle.
I think that's more important than like the neck pour. It's just more of like not much air has gotten into the bottle, so it's literally like a fresh crack.
Yeah, so this is a fresh crack. This basically a fresh crack right now. So, but cheers to you. Cheers to your family. Cheers to everybody out there watching. We love you guys, and we're gonna go ahead and get into the taste on this. Cheers, brother.
All right, cheers. Happy holidays. Merry
Happy
Christmas.
holidays, brother. Cheers.
Ooh.
There's a decent amount of heat on there. This is my first pour of the night too. I'm feeling it a little bit. It's overtaking the front part of the palate.
Hmm.
A lot of what what do you get it? What do you,
Yeah, I
what
mean,
do
I
you-
agree. Like, it's definitely like the tip of the tongue. Like, that's where it's
Yeah.
kind of lingering. Again, I don't have, like I said, I haven't really been drinking whiskey, so I don't know. Like, I can't. It's hard to gauge the proof without comparing it to something else.
Yeah.
It drinks pretty hot for me though, so I'm really surprised
Okay.
to hear that it might be somewhat lower proof. But yeah, it tingles the tip of the tongue, but it's really rich and like the mouthfeel, like coats the tongue going down. Really, like I mean, rich is the first word that comes to mind to describe it.
Okay. It's a fair note or fair assessment of it.
Yeah, I'm almost getting like a. I feel like there is some sort of a finish on this. I'm getting like I don't know if it's quite like a sherry finish. There's a bit of like a bit of like a. I don't know the proper way to say. I don't want to say oxidized wine because that doesn't sound good. But like there's a bit of like a that like really dark wine note that you get on some sherries.
Okay. So would you say that it's
Any good? It's very good. It's very good. I'm very curious to hear about
very
this
good,
one.
very good. Now, if you were like comparatively to what you've spent on whiskey throughout the year and stuff like that, how would it rank amongst some of the like what level would you call this as far as like I guess if you had tiers and top tier to
Mhm.
middle tier to lower tier, where would you kind of place it as far as what you've tasted this year, what you remember? If I mean, I don't want to put you again on the spot.
No,
but-
it's okay. I can listen. If I'm talking about something specific, I can totally.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of to me, it's leaning towards high tier.
Okay.
There's something that I feel like maybe it's holding back. It kind of tastes maybe a little bit young. That's kind of leaning more towards middle tier, but it's like
Okay.
mid to upper tier. I would like if I had to put a price on it. Again, this is going to be ridiculous because I have no idea what I'm drinking.
Yeah.
I would say like the 70 to 110 range, just to
Okay,
guess.
that's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
So like pretty up there. I mean, tiers are all different depending on the person, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're and I just looked at the proof again, and it might have been a little bit higher than I suggested. So.
Okay. I mean, you didn't give me any numbers. You were like, "Oh, you just seem surprised when I said it smells like it's high proof." I'm like, "Okay, maybe it's not. Maybe my proof radar is
For
off
a
tonight."
second there, I forgot what we were drinking. So
Okay.
now, after the third sip, what has anything changed? Did the flavor diminish at all, or is it something you feel like you would be able to sip like and enjoy, or is it too hot, maybe too light, or
I think it's a little hot. Actually, I have a little water dropper here. If you don't mind, I might add a
no,
couple
go ahead,
drops to it.
go ahead.
And that's not something I typically do, but I feel like this one, I feel like it might could benefit from just a bit of water. It to me, it's really dense, and I feel like maybe I
Oh,
should lighten it up just a little bit to maybe bring out some more flavor in it.
and that's fair. And people can, if they seek out this bottle and try to find it, it probably give them an idea. And I'm gonna say that looking at the proof, it's a fair thing to do.
Okay, so I only put like 6 drops in here, so very very little amount. Yeah, I'm still getting like a hint of like I keep saying sherry, but there's some sort of cask influence. I mean, you're probably gonna tell me that I'm wrong, but I'm getting some sort of finishing cask influence on this.
Well, to be fair, this one, to me, I enjoy it because it's a single barrel that tastes finished, and
Oh, okay.
I think it's surprisingly flavorful for it being a single barrel. Like you don't get the typical bourbon notes on it. There's a little bit more nuance and flavor to it, whereas just the caramel and the wood and the different things that people call out. So
Yeah, I think with the water, to me, it kind of brings up more of a like, it's an interesting note. It's like a salted caramel note, like a bit of like a darker, really rich caramel with
yeah,
a little bit of like salt there as well. It's nice. It's really interesting. Now I'm very intrigued with what this is. It doesn't taste like anything I said on the nose it kind of smelled familiar. It
yeah,
doesn't taste as familiar.
yeah. Okay. All right. So, and we're at that point now. I'm just going to go ahead and let you see what you've been drinking. And
Okay.
again, thank you for doing this. Really appreciate you. Thank you, everybody who's watching. Again, without your support, channels like myself and Bourbon Bites, we wouldn't exist because you guys keep coming back and supporting us, and we appreciate that. And Merry Christmas to you and your families. Clifton, are you ready for the big reveal?
I guess so. I think so.
So what you were drinking, now you said maybe kind of young. What is like kind of young? What would you say is kind of young?
Yeah, I don't know. To me, like I don't want to say it's giving like small barrel. I know I said that earlier, but it's like
Yeah,
it kind of does taste like it has some really intense flavors that are impacted really fast, which makes me think
yeah.
maybe it's like a Texas style or like something in that region where it's like I
That's
don't think it
fair.
tastes like a Kentucky bourbon, which is interesting. I'm be curious to see if it is. I would guess maybe it's like somewhere like it was made somewhere hot and maybe for a little bit younger than typical, like 3 to 4 years. But I could be totally wrong. Let's find out.
And I'm surprising you right now with the age. It is at 9 years old.
9 years. Okay. Okay.
But I think because of the proof point, I think that's maybe a lot of times age for me, anyways. When the hotter it is, the more
Mm,
the more it feels like it's a little younger because you get some of those ethanol type flavor profiles in there and stuff, and it
right.
kind of interrupts what you would think would be age.
Mhm,
Like you can't tell from the
sure.
because of the heat. This is at 138.8.
I had a feeling you were messing with me. I had a feeling. Not at first. I was like, oh man, maybe I'm wrong. But like the more I drink it, I'm like, this is definitely high proof. Like you're messing with me.
And this is bottle 69 of
Nice.
149. This is Will it
Oh,
Will it 9 years. So, and there's
wow.
the particulars right there. And bottle 69 of 149. I've been waiting to taste it, and man, I'm so happy that. So what did you think though? As far as flavor wise, you think it's
Well, now my mind is blown because I've always kind of been under the impression that like Willet wasn't my favorite. I know I don't typically love Willet Rye, the 4-year
uh,
rye. There's like
yeah,
there's a note on it that I thought that I've also got on their bourbon, but now I'm like, okay, wait a minute, Willet. What's funny is I bought some of those purple tops for some friends. There was a store here. It's been
uh,
like 2 or 3, or no, it's been more than that. It was like right before COVID, so late 2019.
yeah.
And they had those and they were like 200 each. And I bought like 6 of them for friends. I didn't want it. And I
Oh,
like bought them and like they had to like take photos of my ID because they didn't trust that I was like buying them legitimate. I'm like, no, literally my friends were saying, buy it, buy it.
yeah.
And I passed up on it. But wow, that's really surprising. I've never had that before. Thank you so much for
Oh,
sharing it.
cool. Awesome. I've had these before, but mostly from friends.
Hmm.
They were always in this area, but as you know, especially in California, they go crazy on the prices. Luckily,
Yeah.
This one came out. Another one came out for store picks. So this is a store pick and from a friend, and then another one I have is from another friend, Jazz, over there at El Cerrito Liquors. So
Yeah, I mean, now
yeah,
that I go back, okay, but now that I know what it is, like going back to it, I do get some of those Willet notes that like
yeah,
not necessarily like the ones that I think that I don't like, but I do pick up on some of those characteristics that I'm familiar with,
yeah,
knowing now that I know that. I was picking up, to me, like the first thought I had was like the smaller barrels, like a little bit younger. I knew that there was some kind of a funk on it, and I didn't
yeah.
know what it was, and I think it might have been the Willet funk versus the Texas funk. I was thinking it was Texas, so that was on me.
Okay, okay. And you know what? I think that's what a lot of people like about the Willet line,
Mhm.
is that they have a distinct taste. I don't know if you've had some of the off brands um, like Hirsch and some of the other ones that come out in different bottles, but no, you haven't had those.
I don't know, not that I'm aware of. I'm getting like a bit of earthiness. I'm trying to describe it
Yeah,
in a way that is different than funk, because I feel like funk is negative.
yeah,
I don't mean negative when that, like I say Texas funk, but I love Texas whiskey. So
yeah.
it's like,
Well,
it's just something unique to describe it. I think to me, Willet gives me like a bit of earthiness, like a mossy kind of earthiness
yeah,
that I'm getting on this.
yeah. And that's why I like it. There's a lot of sweetness in there too.
Mm.
That with that earthiness that really comes out, and I think secondary prices, no, it's
Yeah,
just too
agreed.
crazy. They can get too crazy.
Mhm.
Um, but if you're finding it for that $200 range that you're talking about, then for me, it's hard to pass up at that price.
Yeah, my get
Uh,
I guess 70 to 110. This isn't necessarily my jam, like in terms of flavor profile. Like
yeah, yeah.
to me personally, and I know that about myself. I know Willet like just doesn't always hit for me. Although this is a very good expression, probably one of the best Willet products I've ever had.
Okay.
But I think someone that loves that flavor profile is absolutely a fair price for that one.
Yeah, 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 definitely. Well, again, thank you for doing this. I'm gonna go ahead and end this recording, and thank you everybody again for tuning in. These will be in not in any particular order, but as they come in, I will be putting them out. And again, this is more for the 12 days before Christmas slash end of the year, drinking, having a pour with friends. So, but love you guys out there. Again, thank you, Clifton, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers, everybody.
Yes, thank you all so much. Love this community. Love you, Joe. Cheers, all.
Love you, man. Here we go. Now let me close this out. Let's see.
Bye, Felicia.
Oops, that was the wrong button. Hold on. All right, we're out of here.